I am very excited for today's video because in today's video, I will be sharing a review of the brand new fragrance from Maison Francis Kurkdjian called Reflets d'Ombre. If you're interested, then just keep watching. Hi, my name is Ayesha from simplyayesha.com. Here on YouTube, I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as I said, in today's video, we'll be talking about the brand new fragrance release from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Now, as of right now, this fragrance is a Harrods exclusive, but I knew that I still wanted it. So I purchased it from Harrods, got it shipped to me here in the United States, and I wanted to review it for you all because I feel like if you really want this fragrance and you want to buy it from Harrods, you're probably going to have to blind buy it. So I really wanted to spend some time with this fragrance and let you guys know what I think. So this video is a part of my Love, Like, or Let Down series. If you've never seen one of these videos from me, in them I give you guys my raw first impression. So you get to see me open the package, give you my raw first impression. But in the same video, I come back after wearing it at least 6 times and give you guys a full-on review. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my first impressions. So this is gonna be the quickest first impression y'all probably ever seen from me because I'm actually getting ready to leave my house and I need to be getting up out of here. But I really wanna wear this fragrance today. So thus you got my headscarf on because I'm not taking it off. I'm trying to lay my edges. Anyway, here's the fragrance. So as I'm opening this, just remember, you will be getting a full review of this fragrance within the same video. So no worries. This will truly be just a first impression and I will just quickly tell you guys what I think of it at first sniff. And at first sniff, is it a love? So here is the fragrance in the box. And this box just slides out if you've never opened an MFK box. But let's show you the bottle. So here is the bottle. I will insert a close-up because for some reason right now my camera does not want to cooperate and I feel like it's not going to focus on it. But there we are. That's what it looks like. So let's go ahead and spray. Really hope I like this because like I said, I don't have time to scrub it off. So I'm leaving literally right now. Okay, so far so good, y'all. Okay, so what I'm getting right now is an amber that has a slightly animalic undertone, but it is sweet. It kind of smells like there's something bready in there as well. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. A slightly animalic amber that's sweet and has a little bit of a gourmand touch to it. So first sniff, it's love, y'all. So happy because I do not want to be walking around not enjoying something that I'm wearing. So yeah, that's my first impression. Stay tuned. I will wear this fragrance for at least 6 times, come back to you within the same video and give you guys a full-on review of this fragrance. I've worn this fragrance every day since I got it, and so I feel like I can now give you guys an actual review of Reflets d'Ombre. So this fragrance to me is a bright ambery scent. So when I say bright, when I smell it, I definitely get some sort of bright citruses coming out. I feel like it could be bergamot because it's giving me kind of that lemon lime mix, which I often get from bergamot. So it's bright, but I also feel like there's like a little bit of like lemon in here too. It doesn't go the lemon cleaner route or anything like that. But to me, when I smell it, I feel like it's a mix of like lemon and bergamot at the top of this fragrance. And then overall, those citruses are surrounded by this beautiful amber. And the amber in here is sweet. It's thick-ish, but it's not extremely dark and heavy. A lot of times with amber fragrances, I find them to be dark, spicy, heavy, winter appropriate. This is the type of amber, in my opinion, that can be worn year-round, honestly. And we're not at that part of the video yet, but to me, this amber is definitely on the thinner side, but still very present. It doesn't seem like it has a ton of vanilla in here. It's just more of a spicy, sweet amber accord. Now, one thing I do want to add is that this amber does smell very slightly animalic. And when I say that, I mean, to me, it kind of has this musky undertone, and I'm talking about the musk that smells skin-like. When I say skin-like, I don't mean dirty skin. I mean just warm human skin-like. So when I say animalic, please don't be like turned off by that. It's very minimal. And sometimes amber fragrances can have that bit of an animalic touch. And I feel like this one does. It has that kind of musky, warm skin undertone. Now, as I wear this fragrance and it gets into the deep dry down, I feel like the amber becomes more prominent, but the citruses still stick around. I'm not sure how they do that because usually citrus notes go really fast, but the citruses seem to stick around a bit, but the amber notes become warmer. They become a little bit spicier, maybe a slight bit darker in the deep dry down of this fragrance. So I actually think that this fragrance is 100% unisex. I don't feel that it leans feminine nor masculine. Now, when it comes to projection and longevity, this fragrance on me lasted a long time. Each time I wore this, I was able to get at least 8 hours of wear out of the fragrance. When it comes to projection, I feel like this projected really well. And the reason that I say that is because one of the days that I wore this, I was actually around a group of people like at a party. And so there were a lot of smells going on. There were food smells. There was other smells going on. But people were still able to smell my fragrance and were complimenting me on it. So I feel like the projection on this is really good. I would say probably at least an arm's length when you first spray it. And as the fragrance wears, of course, you get that closer scent bubble. But I still feel like people around me are able to smell this scent quite easily up until around the like 6 hour mark. After that time, it kind of becomes a much closer scent, almost a skin scent. But I found that by spraying this on my clothes, even after that 6 hour mark, I could ask somebody and if they could smell me, and they could smell me. Now, I wasn't getting compliments like unsolicited at that point, but you know, when I'm testing, sometimes I do ask people. This is an amber scent. Generally, when I think about amber fragrances, I think about them for fall, winter, cold weather. However, because this is brightened up by the citruses and I don't find it to be too heavy, I think this fragrance is perfect for year-round use. Now, where I would wear this, I feel like this is actually quite versatile. So I definitely could wear it out on a day where I'm shopping or running errands or things like that. But I felt completely comfortable wearing this to a party as well. And actually the first day I tested it was a really great day for me to test it because I was out all day that day. And part of the day was spent like shopping, going to lunch, stuff like that, walking around. And then that night I went to a birthday party. And so it was two totally different scenarios. So I felt like that gave me a really good opportunity to test it in different situations and actually different weather as well, because the temperature really dropped for that night. So I really think this fragrance could work for any occasion, just depending on what you like. So is this fragrance unique? I would have to say, yes, it is unique. Now, I do have comparisons for you, and I always do these comparisons because I feel like they really help you all, and I feel like it's really important, especially if you all are thinking about blind buying this fragrance. So I actually have 4 fragrances to compare this fragrance to. And I know you probably are like, 4 fragrances? I thought you said it was unique. Yes, I have 4 fragrances to compare this to, but I don't feel like any of them are extremely similar. Like, I don't feel like any of them are dupes, but I feel like I can draw a little bit out of each one. So the first fragrance I'm going to compare this to is actually the one that I think is the least similar to it. However, I feel like this is the one that people are going to ask about the most. So the first fragrance we're going to compare it to is Grand Soir, also from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And I feel like this is a comparison that has to be made because Grand Soir is that quintessential amber fragrance from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So if you've never smelled Grand Soir, it sounds quite simple, but it smells immaculate. It is a dark amber scent, but again, not extremely heavy. I find that the fragrances in the Maison Francis Kurkdjian line, all of them are so like well done and they wear very well. And even the heavier scents, I feel like they can translate well to different seasons, different occasions, just depending on your vibe. So this is one of those ambers that to me is not very heavy. It is spicy. It is sweet-ish, but not extremely sweet, but it definitely has a vanilla background to it. So it is an amber fragrance for sure. And this is one of those ambers that you just can't get the vibe until you put it on your skin. So I love Grand Soir. It's actually my favorite fragrance from Maison, Francis Kurkdjian. So I was a little bit concerned that Reflets d'Ambre would be too similar. However, I have to say these are nothing alike. If you like amber scents and you want to have an amber for every season, every occasion, then I would say Grand Soir is an amber that you wear fall, winter, nighttime. Reflets d'Ambre is the amber that you wear daytime, year round, and spring, summer, also at night if you want. So to me, they don't really smell anything alike besides the fact that they're both amber fragrances. They're completely different. This one has more of a translucent quality. This one is definitely a thicker one. Reflets d'Ambre is an easier wear. Grand Soir is deeper, darker, probably leans a little bit more masculine. It doesn't to me, but I have heard some women say it leans masculine to them. So I will say that Grand Soir probably leans a little bit more masculine. So although these are from the same line, you could definitely have both. I don't feel like they're really similar at all, but I felt like I needed to compare them because that was going to be an obvious question. The next comparison I want to make is to Chanel Coromandel. So this fragrance is the one that I thought of when I first sprayed, or like the first time I wore Reflets d'Ambre. I didn't think they smelled exactly alike, but just wearing this one alone, I was reminded of Coromandel from Chanel. So Chanel Coromandel to me is an ambery scent that is very bright, but it's also very enveloping, and it has this earthiness to it. I believe it has a patchouli note, but it's not one of those deep, dirty patchoulis, but it does add some earthiness to this fragrance. And for me, the amber in here does come off very slightly animalic as well, kind of like Reflets d'Ambre. Now, when you compare these two fragrances, are they the same? No. They did remind me of each other, especially when I first started wearing Reflets d'Ambre, but I will say that Coromandel is definitely more earthy than Reflets d'Ambre. It's also maybe a little less sweet than Reflets d'Ambre. And I feel like Coromandel is definitely more formal than Reflets d'Ambre. I love Coromandel, so I actually wore it in a non-formal occasion the other day, like just around my house, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. But generally, when I think about this fragrance, I kind of feel like it's one of those fragrances you need to dress up, whereas I feel like you could do t-shirt and jeans with this, or you could dress it up. The next fragrance I wanted to compare this to is Musk Ravageur from Frederic Malle. So Musk Ravageur is a spicy, musky scent. So when you see musk in this fragrance, it is not that clean laundry type musk. No, 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 no. This is a deep, warm, sensual smelling musk. This one has that skin-like scent appeal to it. That's not gonna work for everybody, but I love it, and I think it makes the fragrance smell more sensual. So because Reflets d'Ambre has this bit of a animalic touch to it, that skin-like scent to it, for me, I was reminded of Musk Ravageur, and I do think there are some similarities. However, if you've tried Musk Ravageur and it was way too deep, dark, spicy for you, this one may be one that you want to try, because I feel like I get a similar vibe, but this is on a much lighter scale. It is sweeter. It has that ambery touch that Musk Ravageur doesn't really have. But I do feel like they're in the same wheelhouse. Not dupes, nothing like that. But I feel like they're in the same wheelhouse. They probably live in the same neighborhood, maybe way down the street from each other. But they remind me of each other. Definitely not dupes, but I feel like if you like this one, but it's too much for you, maybe get your nose on this one, because I feel like this is definitely an easier wear. And then the last fragrance I wanted to compare this to is Versatility from Soradora. So I love this fragrance. You guys have probably heard me talk about this fragrance. I wore it a lot when I first got it. But this is a citrusy fragrance that is very resinous and has this kind of skin-like essence to it as well. So to me, Versatility is the closest I was able to get to Reflets d'Ambre. I do think that these fragrances probably live in the same neighborhood, closer than Musk Ravageur. But again, they're not dupes, but to me, Versatility is definitely the closest in my collection to Reflets d'Ambre. Now, when I think about differences between the two and similarities, I feel like they both feature that kind of bright, sweet citrus along with that musky undertone. However, Reflets d'Ombre definitely has more of that ambery undertone. Versatility to me has this resinous nature to it, but it doesn't really go like sweet ambery to me. So if I had to classify it, I would say that Reflets d'Ombre is like a sweet citrus amber, whereas Versatility is more of a resinous citrus. Now, do you need both of these fragrances? I don't know, that would be up to you. To me, I feel like these fragrances are definitely more similar at the opening, but in the dry down, you definitely get more warmth and more amber out of Reflets d'Ombre than you do out of Versatility. However, Versatility does have those citruses kind of stick around a little bit more prominently into the dry down as opposed to Reflets d'Ombre. So I can't really answer that question for you. I will say they're not 100% dupes, but I do feel like if you're not really into this scent profile, you may not necessarily need both. So I think that's really going to depend on you. And I hate to give answers like that, but honestly, that's how I feel. So for price, as of right now, you can only get this at Harrods, and I'm in the United States. So the price that I see may not be the same as for you, but the price that I get is $251, and this is a 70 ml bottle. And I had to order it from Harrods, therefore I did have to pay shipping. I think it was like $40 something for shipping. So take that into consideration. So we are nearing the end of this video, and it is time for me to let you know if Reflets d'Ombre is a love, a like, or a letdown for me. So this is the time where you need to pause the video, go down to the comment section and put your guess. Is this fragrance a love? Is it a like? Or is it a letdown for me? So I think I've given you enough time. Reflets d'Ombre is dun 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 dun. I love. I knew y'all probably guessed it because I feel like I was smiling throughout this review, but I absolutely loved wearing this fragrance. I absolutely love the smell of this fragrance. After the fact, like after I got this fragrance, I went onto Fragrantica and I saw that people didn't really seem to love this fragrance. But I already had my mind made up at this time, so it didn't sway me. But I was actually kind of surprised that people were saying it wasn't strong. It was similar to something else from Maison Francis Kurkdjian that is discontinued now. I never smelled that fragrance, so I can't comment on that. But people were kind of like dogging this out on Fragrantica. But for me, it's a love. Like, I really enjoy wearing this fragrance. And I have to say, a lot of times when I do these love, like, or letdown videos, I won't say I get tired of the fragrance that I'm wearing, but a lot of the times I wear the fragrance consecutively and I have a large collection, and I'm really the type of person who likes to rotate fragrances. So a lot of times by the time I do the review, I won't say I'm over the fragrance per se, but I will say like I'm not really itching to wear it. Like I'll put it away for a little bit and wear my other stuff that I've been wanting to wear. But I felt like while I was testing this fragrance out, like I had no problem day and night, day and night, day and night wearing it. Like I was still wanting to wear it, and I feel like that says a lot, and I feel like that just justifies the love. Now, it also helped that I got compliments on this, and I didn't want to say it too much in the review. I wanted to wait for this part at the end, but the compliments I was getting, I probably got like 5 compliments at that party, and then when I went shopping with my friend earlier that day, as soon as she walked in my house, she complimented me on how I smell. So I feel like this is the type of fragrance that a lot of people are going to love. Now, is it going to be for you? I don't know. I hope this review will help you figure that out and see if you want to try to maybe go on a Facebook group and get a sample or something. I don't know where else you can get samples from, because as I look, there's no samples available and I had to blind buy it. But I do feel like this is going to be a very likable fragrance, but to me, it's also not boring. So although I think it's very likable, it's not mainstream. It's just really well done in my opinion. It wears well, it lasts a long time, it projects, it smells amazing, and it's addictive to me. So I'm happy that I found a new love in Reflets d'Ombre. So if you have tried this fragrance, let me know what you think of it. Is this something that you want to try? If you live wherever Harrods is located, maybe go in and see if you can smell it. Let me know what you think of it. I'm so excited because I love when I do these videos and the fragrance actually ends up being a love after I've worn it and tested it out. That really excites me because I love when I love a fragrance. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and have your notification bells on so that you don't miss more videos like this from me. Also, make sure you check out my website. It's www.simplyayesha.com. Over there, I do talk about fragrance, but I talk about other things that I enjoy as well. Get on my email list over there so that we can always stay in contact. If you want to connect me more, follow me on Instagram. I'm in my stories almost every day, and your girl now has TikTok, so follow me on TikTok where I keep my content very relaxed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.